Welcome to Cashflow Diary, a podcast where we discuss business, money, real estate, and the sharing economy. As a full-time real estate investor, entrepreneur, and all-around problem solver, I have had the privilege of developing individuals into powerful business owners. And today, the focus turns towards you. Our mission is to help you build your real estate empire by leveraging strategies to grow yourself, your mind, and your wallet. Let's get started. I've been seeing this pop up, not necessarily in our Facebook forum, but in other forums that I'm a part of, and other questions that have come in, and I want to run something by you. It's a concept. I just want you to think about it this way, because it may free you from some of the traps that I'm finding some people who are not associated with CFD that they're getting stuck in. For example, if I came to you today and said, hey, I'm going to start a new nail salon, or if you said, you know what, I want to start a restaurant, and at any point in time when you said to yourself, I want to start a restaurant, or maybe you're going to do a nail salon, or maybe you're going to start a new car wash, at any point in time, do you have the expectation that somehow you could go somewhere to some company, buy a list of names and numbers of people who are who are literally just going to hand you money and be your customer? I seriously doubt that. I don't think any of you, when I say it in that framework, think, oh, all I got to do is open a restaurant, and then I can go over to this guy. I got this guy who's got a list of 3,000 people who eat food, and what he'll do is he'll just bring me all the customers I need. So I got this, I understand how this whole thing works. I don't think any of you would do that. You would treat that business and understand that, you know what? I got to go beat the streets and build my database of customers myself for this business. I don't care how many businesses you had before, you would still know that you would need to start a brand new database for that business related to that product, related to that service. You wouldn't have the expectation of being able, or dare I say, expecting someone to just give you a list and say, hey, here's, you wouldn't expect that. You would expect to earn each and every one of your own customers by starting from zero and building that relationship. Here's what I'm hearing, and I've seen this a number of times, especially in Facebook groups. I'm hearing words like and seeing things like, and I just want to make sure you guys don't fall into this trap. Where can I find a list of buyers? A list of buyers? Where can I find a list of private people with money? Do you really have the expectation that you're going to have a list? You're going to go pay $29.95 for someone's list, and you're going to actually call those people, and really someone's going to hand you $100,000 or $20,000 or $50,000 or anything? At best, they can give you people that are interested, whom you are still going to have to build a relationship. Sure, they're a little pre-qualified, but that doesn't mean they're ready to do business with you. For those of you who are familiar with income infusion, you understand the now you can principle. When you understand now you and can, you've got to qualify for all three of those things, regardless of how that person was introduced to your product, business, or service. So stop looking for the shortcut. That's really what it is. It's like, okay, I'm just going to go find the property, and I'm going to get a list of buyers, and that'll be the end of the story, and I'll have my shortcut. Don't have the expectation anything less than what the new restaurant down the street has. The new restaurant down the street had to learn how to get their doors open. They had to learn how to fund their business, how to build it, how to find the place where they were going to, the real estate where they were actually going to conduct business. They never, ever said to themselves, you know what? I'm going to run every part of this restaurant by myself. They knew from the beginning they were going to need a staff. They knew from the beginning that they were going to need individuals to help them with their paperwork, their taxes, their entity formation. This wasn't like, oh my God, I can't afford to bring this person on board. It was a necessary cost for opening the door. There are no shortcuts, is what I'm trying to say. Don't get addicted to the shortcut because you think, oh, it's just a building. All I got to do is buy a building and stick somebody in it. You can't take the shortcut. What ends up happening is you get trapped. You get trapped in having property and you can't figure out how to get yourself out of it. Now, Eli is a rare exception, and we continually applaud him for being able to figure that out, for using the tools, the tips, the techniques, whatever we shared with you, Eli, to make that happen. I'm grateful. I'm glad you went out there and made it happen. But you're the rare bird to where someone gets to 10, 20, 50, 100 units and then figures out how to make that jump if they didn't start out that way. But those are the things that I want to make sure that we hear, that you watching me right now know that there are no shortcuts. You don't get to shortcut the idea just because it's real estate. You don't get to shortcut the customer acquisition. You don't get to shortcut your marketing. You don't get to shortcut any of those things. Now, many of those things are easier. Sure, financing is easier. It's more readily available, but you still have to do it. Yeah, investors are easier to come by, but guess what? You still have to do the marketing. There is no shortcut. You're not going to buy. But trust me, if there was a big old, you know how much money I could earn? If there was a big old yellow book somewhere that I could sell you of all the names of people, and all you had to do was call them, and in 30 minutes they would just wire you money. Do you have any clue what that would be worth? Here's my point. I can show you and will continue to show you what works, what's efficient, what's effective at building your own farm of investors, buyers, and sellers. It's the only way to build your business. They got to be emotionally attached, have a relationship with you. Most of you are going to start out just working in your own local areas, which means you don't need any fancy tools or online stuff. Eventually, you're going to need to spread your wings and fly a little bit further. And that's when we begin to talk about other tools and other techniques to be able to reach marketplaces that are outside of your driving distance so that you can begin to figure out how to build those relationships. Indeed, in fact, many of you I've never met in person. Why? Because we use those same tools, tips, and techniques that I'm talking about to build a relationship with you in some way, shape, or form so that you would begin to understand that we could help you specifically with your issue in the way that you needed assistance. It was never shortcut. There was no simple, I didn't pay $29.95 and buy a list of names and actually have the expectation of business happening. It is grown. You plant the seeds, you water, you till, fertilize the soil. Eventually it peaks through, you keep working it, and then when it's time to harvest, you can. Please keep that in mind.
Thank you for tuning in to the CashFlow Diary podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, share with a friend, and leave a rating and a review. If you'd like to keep the conversation going, head over to CashFlowDiary.com to sign up for our email list, as well as check out all the links and resources in the show notes. Thank you again. Until next time.